I remember my first memory of a heartwarming, mind-blowing, exhilarating feeling of joy. I was a little girl dancing punta, imitating my grandmother, whom I lovingly call Mama. It was La Feria de San Juan, an annual event in my hometown, Sugabio. While dancing, I was totally aware of the significance of the event. What made me so happy was being with Mama and surrounded by members of my Garifuna community, people who were joyful, loving, and supportive. Everyone was dancing, and for reasons I could not understand, the penetrating sound of the drums slowly took hold of my body and soul. Garifunas are people of mixed African and indigenous descent, living in Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and the United States. The histories I learned in elementary school and high school included José Cecilio del Valle and Francisco Morazán, but not any elements of the Garifuna, like the history of Chief Joseph Chatoyer. I am Garifuna, and it felt as if my history was not part of my country's culture. That disconnect was traumatic, and it used to make me feel as an outsider in my own country. I wanted to learn more about the Garifuna people. I wanted to know what kind of memories they had been holding on to and had helped them to maintain an enviable level of resilience in spite of many challenges. That's how my journey of studying about my Garifuna culture started. I learned that since 1635, Garifunas have endured a series of challenging events, starting in Yurume, St. Vincent. First, the indigenous Arawak women witnessed the assassination of their husbands and were taken as wives by the killers, the Caribs. Then, this newly formed society begrudgingly welcomed enslaved West Africans who had been shipwrecked after being abruptly uprooted from their land. The new community, the Garifunas, were viewed as outcasts by the British, who had been seeking ownership of our land. According to Christopher Taylor, on his book, The Black Carib Wars, Chief Joseph Chatoyer tenaciously led 2 wars against the British, defending our territory. Upon Chatoyer's death, these colonizers took possession of our land and submitted my ancestors to a forced migration. About 5,000 were first sent to the deserted island of Balixo, where about 3,000 innocent people perished. Survivors wistfully embarked to leave behind the only land they had ever known as their own. Nyurume nege bugawageira be, bugarugu hamutiwa harutiu nyingie, aligia guwaya bibe faya faya hanya dugulencho, walua he nanya garina go walate. Aligia guwaya bibe faya faya hanya dugulencho, walua he nanya garina go walate. This song describes the moment Garifunas were expelled from our homeland, Yurume. It was a 31-day voyage where my ancestors bonded over a shared misfortune. They arrived in Honduras on April 12, 1797, right on the shores of Roatán Island. 222 years to this date. Learning about my history made me think about my grandmother, whom, in spite of a series of challenging events in her life, was strong, joyful, and possessed our ancestors' extraordinary sense of resilience. She was orphaned as an infant and only had a second-grade education. Yet, she grew up to become a farm owner and shared her land with her less fortunate friends. That's how Mama helped to create the community I grew up in, a community of people who were generous and supportive. As a young adult, I moved to New York City. And 15 years later, I moved to North Carolina with my children, Margie, Gerson, and Brian. I had learned English, graduated from college, and had a good job. But I did not fit into any particular community, and that made me feel completely alone. I was struggling with this new challenge. I wanted to connect with everybody, but that's not an easy task. It takes a different level of energy. At times, I felt anxious. I even feared judgment and rejection. But I thought a lot about the struggles of my ancestors and remembered that as one of Mama's descendants, I had been endowed with a powerful sense of resilience. I started practicing some connection techniques with my children. They love to hear stories about my childhood. But what they enjoy the most is the history of our Garifuna people. They enjoy the music, the food, the language, the artifacts, and everything that represents us. I had told them that during gatherings, everyone shook their gluteus maximus to the rhythm of the garao, and how that created electrifying joy while dancing punta. I wanted to be part of a community like the one I grew up in. And I thought that asking people about different elements of their culture and sharing mine was a good way to start. Working with Puerto Ricans and Dominicans helped me to understand that connecting with other cultures is not that hard at all. I just had to think about connecting our cultural similarities. For example, we both spoke Spanish, and our most succulent dishes are based on the same staple food, el plátano. Boricuas make mofongo. Dominicans make mango. And Garifunas, we make hudutu. These are all based on mashed plantain with a variety of seasonings that makes you want to dance salsa, bachata, and punta dance. Also, another connection I made, my children find it entertaining to hear me say, la faja. And when I met some people from Mexico, they told me that in their culture, it represented la chancla. When I meet any non-Garifuna people, I now know there has to be one or more very special thing that connects us. I connect with my students the same way we do in my Garifuna community, listening, reaching out, supporting one another. I do this with my friends as well. My connection did not stop with my Latin American friends. I have friends from China and Laos, and they honor their ancestors through presenting food on an altar, just the way we do. Also, you already know I love to dance. My dear grad school professor, Dr. Carmen Sotomayor, who's from Cáceres, Spain, enjoys dancing too. So we bonded over passionate, expressive, sentimental dance. Her exclamation of encouragement while dancing flamenco is, ole! And in my Garifuna community, we say, hey, bomba, when dancing punta. The thing is, our shared passion for preserving our ancestral memories and expressing ourselves at that moment when the music stirs us deeply enough represent who we really are. I know that when Carmen dances flamenco, it takes over her soul, and she knows that the sound of the drums while dancing punta disturb the natural flow of my blood. Mama walu hanyuriba niya wasania harugunya. Mama walu hanyuriba niya wasania harugunya. Sarabae, sarabae, darabe, bubenari hon parandatinho. Garifuna people dance punta with a strong spiritual power bonding us together. I have realized that being in that moment has a comforting effect. And when we think about comfort, our unique way of experiencing memories takes us to that incomparable mental state of contentment. Not learning about my cultural heritage in school had a traumatic effect on me. It made me feel there was no way I could connect with anyone who was not Garifuna. Now, when I think about connecting with other people, I realized there's nothing scary or mysterious. We can connect over food, music, passion, or the way we do in my Garifuna community, singing, dancing, talking about hope, a strong sense of togetherness, and embracing the spirit of resilience. Thank you for letting me share my joy with you. I am open to learn from you. Serena.